Right. Hello, everybody. I'm IggyDOTA on Twitch, and we're gonna pause the game for a quick second here. So we're gonna get into some Pac-Mania in a minute, but RGL gave me a second here to talk about the fact that process works and that kind of stuff. Basically, long and short of it, I have something called ADPKD. Basically means like kidneys are covered in cysts, and the best outcome for me is to find a living donor, and everything is supposed to go well. And will really, really help me. Help me out. If you would please just share it among your communities, and if you'd have a look at the site and just check it out. The most important things to know, like the quickest myths to understand, is that the whole thing about needing to be a match, you don't really need to be a match. They'll match up if and that's why you kind of have to cast a wide net and try to find the safest person to do it. But any questions and stuff, you can hit me up on the RGL Discord, all the other Discords that we're in, and all that kind of stuff. Surgery is planned, and it all starts with like local blood tests and stuff, and just basic medical questions. And for the most part, if you're, especially if you're a U.S. citizen, if not, it's kind of like reimbursed. But basically, clean boot here of the game. I have my timer ready. I can get this out of the way. Is the stream freezing? Uh-oh. Heck. Stream freezing. Oh no. I don't see anything that we're working on. There are two loops to the game. There's only 19 levels. There are 7 levels in the first loop. We're going to go through each of these different worlds. Yeah, I gotcha. Just want me to start, or do you want to take a second? Because it makes Pac-Man go really fast. There's a key component to it, is as soon as a power pill, the things that turn all the ghosts blue, expires, it resets your speed back to normal. So as you probably know, Pac-Man, the further you go, the quicker those. Okay. Did I just go? Whenever you give me the go-ahead, we're gonna go. What else? Ready, sir. All right, let's go. So we're gonna try to break this and the Bokozuka world record. We have the timer set with this whole 11 seconds. We don't get those back. First level, pretty easy. They call, and for some reason in the manual, they call this the bonus level. I don't really know why it's called that. Because you can still lose, but it's a bonus level. I don't know, but it's Legoland. Legos are cool, right? Kids love Legoland. It's Pac-Man, it's 3D. 1 a.m. here. But this is simple enough. Jump this guy. All right, we'll talk about it at the end, absolutely. We were supposed to have a Bokozuka Wars race. Oh yeah, so one thing in both this and the next game is basically everything is buffered. So whenever the level finishes, you can just hold the jump button. And I guess that's another thing to talk about. Pac-Man in this one gets to jump. And jumping is cool because the way the ghosts behave, it's the typical Pac-Man world situation. You'll notice they can only turn at the corners. There's an exception to this rule, and that is when they get what we call the scatter pattern. So there's really actually two different rules that the ghosts follow. The one that everyone knows, where like Pinky or whatever, they're purple in this one. They're not Blinky or whatever they're called in the arcade. But that purple one is going to be on our tail the whole game, and is really the most dangerous one until we get to World 3 and 4. Yeah, they really went with it's a pretty cool game. This is from 1991, so it's I mean, how many years is that? It's several years from the whole Pac-Man franchise. Like, this is what, a couple of years before they make Pac-Man Adventures. So we don't get a cinematic here, so we can just hold the buffer to avoid the hey, you did good. So these green dots spawn at different intervals on each level. So you notice this one spawned really fast. We waited for that power pill to expire. We already have it perfectly timed out. And we have a pattern here that's really nice. We got a swag jump coming in here. Oh yeah, so when they scatter, at 7 seconds and then 20 seconds afterwards on every level, for the most part, all of the ghosts will about face and do a different AI pattern. But the most important thing that's really, really dangerous for us is we expect the ghost to behave a particular way, and this kind of gives them a random jolt to do something completely different, as well as potentially just walk directly into your face. All of that being bad. Oh, we tried to avoid eating ghosts. They waste time. Also, sometimes put them in the wrong location. Oh, we do not want to lose this power pill, so we're just going to devour everything. Oh, so we lost the speed there, but it's not that much of a harm. There's going to be a cinematic here. We have to press again. No buffer. If you hold the buffer too long, it actually holds the buffer into the next level, so you just jump at the start. Swag jump. Every time we go to a new world, the timer for how long the power pills last kind of gets reset a little bit, but it just continuously goes down. Gotta get this green pill here. But they do last long enough in this particular level that we can still continue to chain all the power pills and get it all done in one easy loop. The addition to the third world, in both the first and second loops are very similar besides the pace of the game, is the addition of the green. They add additional ghosts. I guess that's the big difference between this and some of the other Pac-Mans you're probably familiar with. There's like 8 different ghosts in this one, and they all have different rules and patterns, but the most important one is that the green ones, when you jump, they jump too. And there is actually a way to avoid them, and that is to... Oops, uh-oh, we got bopped. Talking too much about the game. Alright. Play it safe. Marathon run. But yeah, so they jump when you jump. Probably see you jump here in a second. So it is possible to pass them as long as your jump is at the apex of their... You hit the apex of your jump, so at the highest point, and you'll take care of them. We're losing a lot of time here. Yeah, the green ones are tricky. Like that one. Didn't get to jump it. We lost a lot of time on that level, but let's just keep going. Alright, so now we get to the jungly steps, or whatever they're called. And naturally, everything goes a little bit faster. Oh yeah, that previous level, Pinky, Purple, whatever their name is, they now... That's the first time that they go faster than us. And that's obviously going to become a little bit of an issue. But we'll deal. We got this. Obviously don't want to be eating the fruit. The green ones tend to work on a different pattern, and thankfully they don't actually ever go particularly quickly. Well, we're going to have to... There you go. Someone has played this game too much. I used to rent this game a lot. I knew the trick about the the green pill thing like 20 years ago. But we kind of went off pattern here. It's okay. Just want to make sure we have a nice safe level, because if we for some reason run into trouble, we don't want to actually have to use a credit. Using a credit resets the entire board. We have a lot of extra stock, so we should be okay, unless the second loop of this level is pretty bad. But we'll see what happens. So what else can we talk about with this game? So essentially, the kind of among your most optimal choices for speed in this game is you want to minimize the amount of time that you're both in the air, and you want to minimize the amount of time. I mean, basically, anytime you're not gobbling a dot, that's not good, right? So what we're generally looking for in a good pattern in this game is kind of finishing each area in quadrants. It's like here I kind of finish the top left area first, but also tends to happen with the ghosts is depending, oops, that was a mistake, depending on their pattern, like the green ones tend to try to cut you off a little bit. Purple one basically tries to just go straight for you. See, the green ones are kind of still chasing in the wrong direction, so I can kind of deke and feint them in the other direction. There you go. That is loop 1. And now the show must go on. So now it's going to make us do every single level 3 times. Oh, tried to get that one. That's a little bit too tight. We're not going to do that. And you would think that they would have kept in some of the stuff with like the jumping and stuff. No, when we go back to the loop, everything kind of just restarts as if it was a new game, except the fact that there's new levels. Yeah, G, you get a G. But you'll notice the power pill duration's a lot less, and you'll notice that Pac-Man's speed is a lot higher. So there's a lot more precision. And we talked about everything tonight. The theme is everything is buffered. So anytime you'll see by inputs, anytime we get to a choice hallway, we're always kind of buffering because it'll kind of round us in. You can do that during jumps and everything. So the game's actually surprisingly well done in that regard. Like, despite the fact that you have a lot of speed, you still feel like you have a lot of control. So when you get in these really good segments where you're like learning the game and fighting off all the ghosts, oops, that was a big miss. It's really important to not get bopped. As far as timing, you lose like 15 seconds. It's really bad. So here's our first kind of big manip of the green on the. So this level, because of the way how the level counts work and how the like green dots don't necessarily match the same levels and timing that they did in the first world. In this case, we get our first green dot in 1-3, which is the 3rd stage, but it's this stage, and it's obviously really fast. If you actually can see it, the game is actually lagging the catch of the. Very hard to see, but basically the pill's getting gobbled before Pac-Man, like it's getting lagged. We're not going to quite have that level of speed here. Again, so now we're in World 2. They still don't jump, but the purple one that I always call Pinky for whatever reason, and then there's an actual pink one, which makes it even more confusing. But the fast guy, that was a scatter right there where they about face. It's the bane of every Pac-Man player. It's basically the same thing that happens when they get a power pill, right? So besides having a straight-on strategy, one thing you can do when you're playing a lot of Pac-Man is they tend to kind of loosely. Oh, thank you, Credenza. They loosely kind of follow you, right? So this level has a really quick green dot. You can't do too much with it because, unfortunately, you see it spawns so quickly on this level. There's not a whole lot we can do. But what we can do, sort of get rid of most of the noise on this level. Oh man, that corral is really dangerous. And now we'll go get the power pills and get out of here. Pink? Is it really? Is it Pinkle? Is it Pinkle? I like it. Somewhat like the original names for, of course, the original arcade Pac-Man on the in Japan, and then they thought that was a poor idea because Concakes is in the United States, and they said, We're not gonna give Pancakes a freebie, so we gotta change the name to something else. This one we're actually making a mistake. We gotta fix this. So on this level, just like we did on 1-3, we're going to, this is my hot new strat, and that is to burn out the, we gotta get these guys out of the corral though. Oops, that was a hot new strat we just learned on the fly. Just go in the alley. Interesting. I mean, I don't usually use the alley, of course, because there's no dots there. But now we get super speed and can finish the level. There was a good lag dot there, where we're kind of going faster than. All right, so now we go to World 3, and now this is the part where things get really scary. You can basically burn through your entire stock very, very quickly, and I call it the break. At the start, you'll notice we kind of always, I call it attacking the opponents here, or attacking the other ghosts, because it seems you kind of get the best way to get the most dots by going for them in that upper left area. And you see we kind of got a good clear here. Get rid of the purple one. That didn't really do anything. Hope we just don't get an about face. Yeah, we're out of here. And you'll notice that I could have gotten hit there, but I'm pretty sure in this game, if you were to get a dot and get hit at the same time, because I've played this a lot, you basically you'll always win. Like, you get the dot, you'll even get the power pill before the thing kills you. So that's something that occasionally we'll kind of luck out on. It's not something you really want to plan. And we also don't want to leave a lot of singletons for good strategy purposes. Eating this guy, though, is pretty good. So that's always the trouble, is if the green and the black ones, or the two greens, kind of work together to conspire to take us down. But here they're stuck in the thing, so they're stuck in that alley. See ya. One more. We might have lost too much time on that other one. We'll see. It's gonna be close regardless. Of course, in practice, I've already gotten some pretty good times. So. I learned a lot of new strats with this too. Like I think we really refined the. Whoa! Hey, game, you want to give me some control here? There we go. For the most part, the game's pretty responsive. Just every once in a while, I'm like, you know, I did mean to go that way. Oh, that was perfect. All right. All right, so now we're in the last world, and we use a different pattern here. And the pattern is basically abusing that scatter pattern I talked about. You're going to see the purple one turn around at various intervals here. And that's basically to take advantage of this kind of where they break, as well as kind of, if we kind of focus on the bottom first, it means the green ones kind of end up not in the way as much. But of course, no matter what we do, you know, they're all eventually going to kind of end up in a problem area. We're going to eat pink here, sure. And I know that green wouldn't have turned there, so there you go. So that's the first one. And we're going to just abuse the same pattern, because it gets really crazy to manip here, because you just don't really know for certain what's going to happen. Here I'm going to clean out this. I know that green guy's always going to go there. I actually lost. How did I lose purple? Get over here. We need to get off of this area. This is bad. We could get a scatter. We did. Let's just get out of here. Normally we wouldn't want to do that, but we lost the control that we thought we had, so we're just gonna get it back. So I think one of the black ones spawned. Yeah, we have one black one. One more will be added in the final level. And now we just kind of got to play Cart Corral here over at Kroger. All right. And we got one to go. He went pretty quick there. But again, the whole goal here is to kind of... Oh, this is bad. Okay, that worked a lot better. Just like we drew it up. So one of the most dangerous spots for dots. Oh no, we got bopped because it kind of, my joypad kind of went no. All right. Now we have an issue though, because in order to finish this level off, I kind of need, so there's the scatter. That goes way too fast, so we're not going to deal with that. The good news is we cleared out the area above the little ghost corral. So for the most part, see, I know those guys are going to go up. So I can kind of do a little manip action here. Oh, of course we get a scatter. Oh man, they just scattered perfectly. And record. There you go. That might be my best run, but I think maybe not. This is a Westwood game, by the way. There you go. That's Pac-Mania. Alright. So since we didn't get a chance to, since we had a little issue at the start, I'll get into it again. We're going to get into Bokozuka Wars in a second here. But I'm going to relink it just for those that didn't get a chance to get it before. Hey! While we switch things over. Switch it over to everyone's favorite game. It's coming, you know it. Actually, I don't need that anymore. Alright, cool. So basically, the long and short of it is I have polycystic. A previous record was, I think, 1818, and this past week I've been basically flirting. I think I had a 1748, so that was a pretty crazy time. Like, we found like another minute in the past week or so practicing for Retrothon, maybe about the past couple weeks. Yeah, so it was a really hot run. Yeah, Boko is coming up. Since we had a little issue at the start, I'll re-explain it again. The long and short of it is I'm looking for a living donor for a kidney. RGL was really nice to kind of retweet and share everything around that I would encourage. Could really use some help. And if everyone would kind of just share this around our various retro communities and stuff, I'd really appreciate it. The long and short of it is my kidneys, since I was born, started getting covered with cysts, and they are not working very great right now. And I'm basically, if I'm not officially, I'm like right on the line of being listed for organ transplant. I didn't explain this at the start, but basically none of the other options are good outcomes. The waiting list is 7 years long for a deceased one. There's a lot of risk for someone who's very young in my case. And basically they said, get a living donor and we can slap one in now and assume everything goes right for the next 20, 30 years, which is like double the length of a deceased donor. We can just slap a new one in. And I'm like, are you just some used car guy? It's like, well, your body kind of works like a used car. And well, he's a good dude. So, but the long and short of it is they're not going to let you donate unless it's safe for you. It all starts with basically like basic medical questions, and a lot of people get ruled out for things that they might think are mundane, but it's just to keep everyone safe, and they just want to pick the donor that's going to be least impact, and they will literally answer every single question you have about it. And for the most part, as far as I know, like all your expenses, including travel, lost work, and all that kind of stuff, should be covered, especially if you're a U.S. citizen. But like, ask them a million questions, and I'm in the RGL Discord and everything else. You know where I'm at. You can always reach out to me for anything, and if you want me to kind of share the stuff in your community, whatever, I'd super appreciate it. And really just share it around. And if you need anything, feel free to reach out to me. Little things to retweet and stuff are in that, and basically more than I can possibly explain about this. But feel free if you have any like immediate questions. But really, the most important thing is it's safe. They want to make sure it's safe for the donor. You don't need to be a match. It just really has to be safe for you. They will do a thing called donor matching, and their whole websites and stuff are great. And if you have any questions, my best recommendation is call them. If you fill out the little questionnaire that they have, they should call you back in like a day or two. But sometimes they have issues with that. So just if you filled out the form and it's been a couple days, some people are like, are they supposed to call me? And then they get called. At any rate, I think that's pretty much all of it. But thank you very much. Appreciate it. And let's move over to Bokozuka Wars. Well, I hope I didn't freak out AK with the Let's power cycle the machine here. Oh yes.